Okay, well, I was born, my father was in foreign affairs and he was posted to Madrid. So I was born in Madrid. I spent the first 3 years of my life there. And then we moved back to Canberra. My father's an artist, Bernard Hardy. I think I was destined to do something in the creative fields. My grandmother's an artist. I have an uncle who's an artist, an aunt who's a writer, another aunt who is a photographer. And as the cousins move through, we've got photographers and fashion designers and designers, graphic designers. So yeah, it's really deeply ingrained in the family. Yeah. I think it's my whole life. I've always made things, not product design specifically, but I've always made things. I've always drawn. I used to sit down with my dad and draw things and make little constructions and I suppose design things, but I suppose back then it was more inventing little solutions for things. But I truly got interested in design, in the world of design, at college, and then yeah, I just couldn't see myself doing anything else, so I moved into that. Yeah. I went to St Edmunds in Canberra. It wasn't I wouldn't say it was an outstanding school career, but I really found my niche when I got out of school. I moved into interior design, did that diploma in that for 3 years. Did pretty well at that. I found something that I liked, designing things, making things, getting a feel for spaces. I worked in that field for a year, and then just was drawn to industrial design. So I went back to University of Canberra. I quit my job, went back to University of Canberra, got my bachelor's, and yeah, as soon as I started that degree, I just absolutely loved it. It was me down to a T. So yeah. It's concerned with design and emotion, and the application of coloured light to interior environments, and specifically domestic environments. So I suppose it all stemmed out of LEDs. The way that the technology has moved forward so rapidly recently, and now you can easily have coloured light applied to interior environments. But my question is, beyond flicking through the colour wheel, how can you apply that more meaningfully? And so I'm looking at all sorts of things, but some things are, one thing specifically is trying to reconnect with the outside environment. So perhaps, developing lighting systems that mimic the quality of light. In the morning you have quite a warm colour temperature of light. You move through midday, it's quite blue, and then back to evening. And this is very directly related to our circadian rhythms. And so sitting in offices and sitting inside, completely ostracised from the outside world, I thought it might be nice to be able to bring digital intelligence to those lighting systems and reconnect somehow. Some office environments you don't really have a choice. You have to live under fluorescent lights, so maybe there might be options there for looking at ways of reconnecting with the environment. But it's more than that too. I mean, colour and light have profound impacts on human physiology and psychology, and I'm just delving into that, and it's a big world out there. Yeah. I love the work of people like Jasper Morrison. He's just recently done a watch for Rado watches, the R5.5. It's a really essential piece of design. It's aesthetically reduced, beautifully detailed. Jasper Morrison. Also his low pad chair. I love that. People like Tom Dixon. Ross Lovegrove, the Go chair that he did, that beautiful organic essentialism that he refers to it as. But from the last century as well, designers like Alvar Aalto and Dieter Rams, all the stuff for Brown that Dieter Rams did, that's brilliant too. So yeah, I've got the list is endless. I've got lots of influences. I'm actually really happy with my latest chair. So Oru, it's a low chair. Task of making it work visually as well as functionally and specifically ergonomically. So there was a lot of iteration, a lot of playing with detailing, very careful detailing. But I think, hopefully, I don't know what the general public, what the reaction will be yet, but I'm hoping that it'll go well. Yeah, so powder stems from rapid prototyping techniques. So rapid prototyping and specifically selective laser sintering has been around since the late 80s, but it was always incredibly expensive. And just recently there are bureaus that are opening that will offer rapid prototyping at greatly reduced prices. So it's now opening up the world of what's known as DDM, which is direct digital manufacture. And that opens up all sorts of possibilities. You are no longer limited by traditional tooling methodologies. You can do completely free-form objects that you don't have to worry about a tool coming out of. You can play with generative object formal creation techniques. And you can also, I haven't done this yet, but you can play with, there are companies out there that are playing with the idea of mass customization. So you have a format or an artifact that can be somehow, it has a theme, it's got a thematic quality, but the user, just prior to ordering it, can have their own influence put on, built into it, so it becomes personal to them somehow. I'd love to move down that road a little bit in the future. It's hard to tie down. It's sometimes I'll tackle an idea from a materials perspective or from an aesthetic point of view, function. But the one commonality is that I always sketch a lot. The precursor to every product that I do is huge, reams and reams of sketching. So yeah, I try to as much as possible make my products sustainable, environmentally sustainable. So the Oru chair that I was just talking about is designed using, there will be two options. One would be aluminium, which I know has quite a large capital investment in terms of energy, but can be endlessly recycled. And the other one that I've done is the same thing but made with timber, and I've used sustainably managed plantation Tasmanian oak or Victorian ash. So it's a renewable product, and all of the componentry is disassemblable. So the aluminium bits, the aluminium brackets come off with 4 screws, and you can recycle it all separately. Actually, it's funny you should say that. The first real collaboration that I've done is with one of the digital media guys at UC where I work. And he did a graphic for Oru, the chair that I did. So I was playing around with the idea of using generative forms. So he's constructed an algorithm that creates a growth pattern. And so playing around with generative processes and using the idea of surprise. So I placed this graphic on the underside and have it just peeking out on the legs. So people walking up to the chair don't necessarily see the graphic, but they might catch a glimpse of it, and then they look underneath the chair and are hopefully surprised by by what they see. Oh, workshop is amazing. I think workshops is an amazing avenue for little known or unknown designers to get their foot in the door and work their way up. It's what I did in 2007. Prior to workshops, to you giving me a chance in 2007, I hadn't had anything really exhibited before, and yeah, that's it's growing and growing. So yeah, in terms of affording emerging designers in Australia the chance to emerge, it's invaluable.